London. The year is 1880. The air is heavy with coal smoke and fog, the kind that sticks to your skin and makes your throat itch. You wake up in a narrow bed, in a narrow room, in a narrow part of town where the sun barely finds its way through soot-covered windows. The wooden floor creaks beneath your feet. You step outside and are greeted by the sharp scent of horse manure mixed with chimney smoke. The streets are alive but not cheerful. People move quickly, with purpose, or with exhaustion. The Thames flows dark and thick nearby. It's not water, it's something heavier. In it float scraps of yesterday's life, bits of paper, fruit peel and other things you choose not to look at too closely. You pass by a young boy no older than 9, black with soot and coughing into a rag. He works down the chimneys for a few pence a day. You nod politely, he doesn't look up. A woman screams in an alley. You don't turn your head. That's just London, they say. Always has been, always will be. You step over a puddle that smells of ale and urine and make your way toward the market. There's meat hanging in the window of a butcher's shop. It's grey, flies claim it before any customer does. Your stomach turns. You remember you haven't eaten since yesterday morning, but you also remember the rats. They say London is modern now. Electric lights flicker in the wealthier districts, but here in Whitechapel, gas lamps still sputter orange. Shadows dance where they shouldn't. You hear the distant clatter of hooves. A carriage passes by, splashing gutter water. Inside, a noble woman fans herself, eyes pointed forward. You know she doesn't see you, not really. At the workhouse, rows of men wait silently. They are dressed alike, hungry alike, forgotten alike. A newspaper boy shouts, "Murder in the East End," but his voice is swallowed by the fog. You wonder who it was this time. Then you wonder if it matters. Your feet ache, you've walked all morning. You earned a few coins at the docks loading crates. Not enough for rent, but maybe enough for a stale loaf and some tea. You sit by a lamppost and close your eyes for a moment, just a moment. You hear coughing behind you. Someone is vomiting. You hear the clink of a bottle rolling across the cobblestones, and still the bells of St. Paul's chime, soft and distant, like a lullaby from a city that never rests. You think of leaving, but there is nowhere to go. Victorian London is home, but it is not kind. It never was. And if you stay too long, you will go mad, just like the rest. Sleep now. The day stretches on. The clouds above London do not part. There is no blue sky, only layers of grey upon grey, like the city itself. Time feels slower here, as if the air weighs it down. You wander further, past the edge of Whitechapel and into Spitalfields. There's a market there. The vendors shout over one another, their voices hoarse, their faces red from cold and effort. A woman offers you a bruised apple. You hesitate, then hand over a coin. It's soft inside, but you eat it anyway. A constable walks past, twirling a baton. His eyes scan the street, not for criminals, but for unrest. Trouble here doesn't shout, it whispers. Somewhere, a church bell tolls once, maybe twice. You lose count. You pass a row of boarding houses, thin walls, thinner blankets. If you listen close, you can hear people crying behind the doors, or laughing, or praying. There is a man on the street corner, preaching about the end times. He raises his hands to the sky. No one listens. They've heard it before. You think about the doctors, men in tall hats and cold eyes, who prescribe leeches for fevers and mercury for madness. If you were to faint in the street, they might take you to Bethlehem Hospital. They might not bring you back. The fog begins to thicken again. It moves like a living thing, curling around lampposts, creeping under doorways. You find a public house, a tavern, and step inside. It's crowded, warm, and full of the smell of smoke and sour beer. A man plays a slow tune on a violin. No one speaks. You sit alone. You sip something bitter. Your shoulders drop just a little. The walls are stained from decades of pipe smoke. The windows are too dusty to see through. It's not a place to relax, but it's better than the street. A barmaid nods at you. Her face is tired. Everyone's face is tired. You think again about what it means to live here. The newspapers speak of progress. Telegraphs, steam trains, factories. But progress has not reached your street. Not yet. Maybe not ever. You hear a shout outside, then silence. Eventually you leave the tavern. The sky has darkened. It's only 4 o'clock. A boy is selling matches. His hands are blue from the cold. You pass him a penny. He doesn't thank you. He just walks away. As you head home, the fog swallows your footsteps. You try not to cough. You try not to think. You try not to remember that in a city this large, no one really knows your name. Night in London is not silent. Even when the fog thickens and the lamps grow faint, the city breathes. You hear the distant rattle of wheels on cobblestones, the cry of a newborn in some hidden flat, the bark of a stray dog echoing through the alleyways. You lie awake for a moment, just listening. Then slowly, you rise. The candle burned low, but it still casts soft shadows on the cracked wall. You pull on your coat and step outside, the door creaking behind you. The night air is colder now. It smells of coal, rain, and iron. You begin to walk. You have no purpose, no destination, only motion. A man stumbles past you, drunk, muttering to himself. His face is hollow, his steps uneven. You do not speak, you simply move on. You pass a street sweeper, brushing filth into the gutter. His broom is worn, his fingers wrapped in cloth. He hums quietly. You don't recognise the tune. You reach the railway yard. Iron rails stretch into darkness. A train is resting, its metal body breathing steam into the night. You remember when trains felt like magic. Now they just feel loud. In the distance, Big Ben strikes midnight. A deep, slow chime. 1, 2, 3. You lose count again. You walk until you reach the cemetery wall. On the other side, stone angels, crooked crosses, names half worn by weather and time. London does not forget its dead. It just buries them under more smoke. A stray cat darts across your path. It stops, watches you, then vanishes into the fog. You sit on a cold bench beneath a flickering gaslight. The seat is damp, but you are too tired to care. You think about the children who work in the match factories. Their teeth rot from the chemicals. Their lungs collapse before adulthood. You met one once. Her name was Alice. She never smiled. A woman walks past, wrapped in shawls, clutching a bundle to her chest. You hear it cry. She hushes it gently. Her eyes meet yours, just for a second. Then she disappears into the mist. You hear footsteps behind you, then silence. The street lamp above you flutters, then dies. You sit in the dark. You realise you are no longer surprised by the darkness. In London, it is simply part of life, like the noise, like the hunger, like the loneliness. You rise again, slowly. You make your way back toward home, though every building looks the same in the dark. The fog wraps around your legs like a cold blanket. You walk with your head down, not to avoid the rain, but to avoid the city's gaze. London sees everything, but it does not care. You finally reach your room. You lie down without undressing. Your body aches. Your fingers are stiff. Sleep comes slowly, not because you resist it, but because you've grown used to waiting. You think, maybe tomorrow will be different. But deep down, you know, it won't. London does not change. It can. Morning returns. But it doesn't arrive with sunshine, only with a change in the shade of grey. The fog has not lifted. The streets are still wet, and the silence is still thick, broken only by distant hooves and slow footsteps. You sit up in your bed. The blanket is thin. Your bones are colder than you remember. A candle stub from last night leans over like it gave up hours before you did. Another day begins in London. You wash your face with cold water from a tin basin. The reflection in the water is tired, eyes dull, lips pale, a shadow of yourself. Outside, the world is already in motion. A newsboy runs barefoot through the streets, shouting headlines you can't make out. His voice cracks. His lungs are too small for the weight of the city. You pass a shop window with cracked glass. Behind it, mannequins dressed in clothes you'll never afford stare silently outward. Their stillness is unsettling. Down the alley, smoke curls from a factory chimney. The air smells like burning oil and iron. Inside, young girls twist threads at impossible speed, their fingers raw, their backs bent like old women. A man sweeps the same corner he swept yesterday. He doesn't look up as you pass. You wonder if he remembers your face. You wonder if anyone does. A cart creaks past, full of coal. The driver coughs once, then again, then again. You lose count. You walk along the Thames. The river no longer surprises you. It flows thick and slow, like treacle. There are no reflections on its surface, just the dull shimmer of something forgotten. A boy sits on the edge of the wharf, feet dangling over the water. He looks down. You don't ask what he sees. You find a bench near the bridge. The wood is cold. A dog curls beneath it, barely moving. You sit in silence, sharing your stillness. The bells of a nearby church begin to chime. 1, 2, 3. They echo across the rooftops like memories you didn't ask to remember. A constable strolls past, nodding to no one. His eyes are alert. His hands rest on his belt. He's not watching for crimes. He's watching for movement, for difference. A woman across the street sells roasted chestnuts. Her hands are red from the heat of the pan. She hums a tune, without melody. You realize you've been sitting too long. You stand again. Slowly. Everything is slow now. Not because you choose to be, but because London demands it. You pass a hospital. A stretcher is wheeled inside. The man on it groans. The man pushing it stares straight ahead. No one cries. Not here. You return home, if it can be called that. A room with 4 walls, a door that sticks,